YouTube. This is the Blackmans Advocate. And
No, this is Bless the Damn Best. Chopping your ass up. Let's go.
Title of today's show is Disarming a Fraud. Tariq Nasheed.
You got that right. The title of today's show is Disarming a Fraud. Your ass. Let's chop it up.
And his FBA fan club's top 15 false arguments. These are the arguments that...
All right. This goes out to the Blackmans Advocate and his fan club. The top 15 bullshit talking points and weak ass retorts. Let's go. Chop it up.
That they use to deflect. Arguments that they use in order to not answer a question. These are their go-to arguments anytime that they get into verbal combat, and I'm going to expose them and give you retorts for each.
Let's go.
The number one false argument that Tariq Nasheed uses is that that's a disingenuous argument or a disingenuous question. There is no such thing as a disingenuous argument or a disingenuous question, because if you're standing on solid ground and on a solid position...
False. False. There is such a thing as a disingenuous argument or a disingenuous question. Me personally, I've never heard Tariq use that exact term. But one thing he says often, he says that he won't engage in a bad faith argument. There's a big difference between a bad faith argument and a disingenuous argument or statement. When someone is coming to you with a bad faith argument, what makes the argument in bad faith is that they don't really care about the topic. They only care about winning the argument. So anything that does not bolster the argument that they're trying to make, they will stretch the argument out. One question will turn into 10 follow-up questions, which turns into the never-ending question, which is an absolute waste of time. I wouldn't sit there going back and forth with somebody in a bad faith argument either. And these people, they crave attention from people with bigger platforms than they have. So they just want to get on and babble. You know, every time these guys, every time they see black people gathered in one place, you know what I mean, they want the mic. Everybody wants the mic, but everybody don't need the mic. But I'll let you go ahead and hang yourself a little bit more.
Any so-called disingenuous argument or question can be knocked down immediately if you're coming with truth and you're coming with facts.
But if you're coming in bad faith, you won't be coming with truth or facts. If was a fifth, we'll all be drunk. Sound like you drunk already.
What it is, really, anytime that you ask this brother something really penetrative, and some of us are really surgical with the questions, you know how to really strike.
Penetrative? That didn't sound right coming from you. But anyway, chop it up.
To the heart of what you're trying to ask somebody. If you ask him something that he's really not trying to answer, that's a disingenuous argument. Is just his way of saying, I'm not trying to answer that. I'm not fucking with it. Many people...
That made no sense at all.
People have asked him pointed questions, serious questions, not only about the museum, not only about his financial handling and things as of late, but questions about his stance in general. Questions about if he genuinely...
Man, listen. This man, I'm talking about Tariq right now. Tariq couldn't shut his mouth about that museum if he tried. He talks about that museum several times during every broadcast. And on top of that, he made a whole fucking damn near infomercial about the museum. What else could you possibly want to know about the money? You see how he's getting the money. He's asking for it. And his supporters are giving it to him. That's all you need to know. You want to turn everything into a never-ending question. It is impossible to satisfy you niggas who are, you know what I mean? I wouldn't call you broke or dusty or nothing like that, but you're envious of people. You're envious of hustlers, basically. And basically, that's what Tariq is. You don't have it in you to be a hustler. Every hustler is not dishonest. That's not what that word means. But we'll go ahead and get finished chopping you up and let you hang yourself.
Feels how he says he feels about white supremacists despite his white mother-in-law. If he is really for the people or if he is more about money. And any time that there is a real question and someone has done their homework and has really dug, he will answer with, that's a disingenuous argument. That is an automatic deflection. That's a deflection.
Okay, here we go again. Man, anybody with eyes to see and ears to hear will pretty quickly determine that Tariq Nasheed is a slick talker. He got that kind of gift of gab like a preacher or a pimp may have. You know what I mean? It's almost messianic, but he has that in him, and how he chooses to use it is up to him. And if you choose to buy into it, it's up to you. You could do the same thing and have the same success if you focus on your own original ideas and stop fucking hating to see another man advancing in a lane that you wish you could be in. Be honest with yourself, because you ain't lying to me. Chop it up.
That he uses that as a shield in order to not answer a question. So what you do, if you're dealing with Tariq Nasheed or any of his fan club, and they say that is a disingenuous argument, you ask it again. Most likely, 9 times out of 10, they're just gonna...
See? You just ask it again. The never-ending question. These motherfuckers get pissed off because a man won't indulge them in the never-ending question. You sick, buddy. You need help. As you can see, I am a black man. You ain't my damn advocate.
Stop replying because they know they're full of shit. But don't get involved in all of the trying to legitimize your question. Don't get involved with trying to show them that it is not a disingenuous argument. Ask it again. Ask it again. Ask it again. Chop them down like a tree. Keep the same question. There is no such thing as a disingenuous question. If the answer is something vindicative that will set a motherfucker free, if the answer is something...
You say, that's what you said, there's no such thing as a disingenuous question. But it damn sure is a such thing as a disingenuous ass nigga.
That is factual, then they can just go ahead and say that. But don't go for that it's a disingenuous argument bullshit. Number 2, the false argument that they will say, you're non-FBA. You sound like you're non-FBA. First of all, let's break that down in 2 parts. First of all, what FBA ain't shit. FBA means his fan club.
He just said FBA ain't shit. FBA is his fan club. And he's about to give you the best, most concise definition of what FBA is out of his own mouth.
Keep the same question. There is no such thing as a disingenuous question. If the answer is something vindicative that will set a motherfucker free, if the answer is something that is factual, then they can just go ahead and say that. But don't go for that it's a disingenuous.
Although there is a such thing as a dumbass question. Carry on.
Genuous argument bullshit. Number 2, the false argument that they will say, you're non-FBA. You sound like you're non-FBA. First of all, let's break that down in 2 parts. First of all, what FBA ain't shit. FBA means his fan club. Many of us listening to this are black Americans. Our great-great-great-great-grandma, great-great...
Tariq Nasheed simply coined a term that was a bit more descriptive than the former term of ADOS. And he changed it to foundational black Americans to make a distinction between the two. And he copyrighted the phrase that he coined so that it can be monetized. Something that creative people do every single day. It's called intellectual property, and it is absolutely tangible. But carry on.
Great-great-grandpa come from the plantations of the South. That's our bloodline. We are black Americans.
And that is also the definition of fundamental black Americans. Advocate.
Or African Americans, some say, but we are black Americans. FBA is his personal fan club. Harriet Tubman wasn't no damn FBA. It didn't exist back then. He trademarked FBA like in 2019. Martin Luther King was not FBA. FBA did not exist back then. Do you get what I'm saying? So this whole...
No, I don't get what you're saying. I don't know why that's relevant. Okay? The computer didn't exist back then. It's a lot of things that didn't exist back then. It's a lot of things that existed but were never named. But your argument is irrelevant. Your Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King argument is irrelevant because they are the very definition of foundational black Americans, buddy. Come on, man.
Oh, non-FBA thing. Non-FBA is pretty much an acronym for the Tariq Nasheed fan club. And if you're not part of the Tariq Nasheed fan club,
This man just said non-FBA is another word for the Tariq Nasheed fan club. obviously backwards. But we'll just chalk that up to you misspoke. You won't get a penalty for that one. You got enough penalties already. Carry on.
You are a non-FBA, however, you can still be a Black American. So anytime they come to you saying that you're non-FBA, say, yes, you're correct, I'm not a part of Tariq Nasheed's fan club, but I am a Black American. That'll kill it all right there. And then if they still want to give you static, all you do is send them a link to the trademark with the Foundation of Black Americans. And that did it right there.
Oh my, what a revelation. What an investigative reporter to find out that someone has a term copyrighted. Wow, what an advocate.
Second part of them saying that you're non-FBA, just say that you're Black American if you're a Black American, because many times a Black American descendant of slavery will have an issue with them, but then you're non-FBA. They're very flippant with these deflections. They're not really even crafty. That's a tenuous argument. You sound like you're non-FBA. It's just very dismissive. And goddamn, I stand on my point. You can challenge me on it.
Bad faith argument. Bad faith argument. Get it right.
Anything. I'll debate any one of you motherfuckers because I'm standing on the truth. I don't deflect.
Yeah. Y'all always ready to waste time with fucking debating. You know what? This fucking debating shit. Man, that shit is for fucking peacetime. To sit around and argue about subjective things, religion, and semantics in terms is a fucking waste of time in peacetime. Man, we at war with these fucking white supremacists. We ain't got time for that bullshit. Carry on, advocate.
Do you understand? You're non-FBA. It's a tenuous argument. That shows you that these motherfuckers are full of shit. Number 3, he'll say that you're babbling. That's, again, I don't really have to break that down, but it's another way of saying I don't want to deal with what you're saying. I've heard people call him with questions about what he's going to do with the money for the museum. Oh, you're babbling. I've heard people call and question him about his white mother-in-law. Oh, you're babbling. I heard people call him and question why there wasn't a little more action when the police broke in his house. Oh, you're babbling. All types of things, even things that were on topic with the show, nothing personal. But if you're too much for this brother, he'll say that you're babbling. So if he says that you're babbling, again, I mean, there's really not much that you can do with that, but stay on your square.
Look, babbling is talking in circles, another form of the never-ending question. And these specific things that you bring up, specific questions that people ask this man, and then you says that he goes automatically to the babbling deflection. That would hold a little more weight if you gave some examples from this man's own mouth and not from your mouth. It might hold a little bit more weight, but I think basically you're being flippant and you're pulling most of this straight out your ass, bro.
Stay on your square, stay calm, continue to answer the question. Don't let him get you frazzled, because all of these are devices. Those of us
frazzled. Don't let him get you frazzled. What the fuck is that, man?
Us who are thorough on our points, we don't do none of this bullshit. Somebody challenges us, and it's a reasonable challenge. We look forward to it because we like to sharpen our steel on steel. You understand what I'm saying? We like to go up against people who are on our level, coming from another ideology, and see what ideology stands. You know, but he cannot do that because in the end it is all about money, and so he has to deflect. And your babbling is another deflection. Number 4 in the false arguments that they use prevalently is where's your money at, basically. So of all of the arguments, it's where's your money at. So it's not basically not on the premise of the question. It's not on the subject. He won't really deal with anything that you call in and ask about. But his question is really where's your money at. So he knows the socioeconomic status of most black people. So that is really
okay. Back to your last point. You said he will take a question that has absolutely nothing to do with money and ask you where your money at. Please show me an example of that. I've listened to a lot of Tariq Nasheed, and most of the time, the money issue is brought up by the caller or by the YouTuber making their own video. And most of the time, they are obsessed with this man's money. They hate to see him spending money and enjoying himself. They think every dime that's donated to this man is supposed to go to a specific cause. Now, that's not an unreasonable thing to expect in specific cases. Just like the latest money thing that you mad about, the museum. He is stating exactly how much money he is trying to raise and exactly what it's for. What else do you want to fucking know?
a safe gamble to assume that any black person who calls into his show most likely has less money than him. So by him saying, where's your money at? That's supposed to be an automatic shut up because I'm richer than all you niggas.
Hey, man. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Okay. About the average income of black males in America is around $45,000, $50,000. It's obvious that he makes more than that. So you have a half point with that. It's a safe gamble, but hell, it ain't his fault. Don't talk money if you ain't got none.
if you don't have as much money as me, you can't say shit to me. But I really feel like, I'm gonna say this for the next question. Number 5, he said, you sound dusty. What he needs to do is quantify what salary per year Dusty is. Because is it a UPS worker? Is it somebody who...
Dude, Dusty, it's not a number. It's a mind state. It's a mind state. You have a pocket watching dusty nigga mind state, man. It's not a number. It's a mind state. See, that's one of them questions. That's one of them questions where he wouldn't answer. Anybody with any kind of sense wouldn't answer no dumbass question like that. He would simply tell you, your mind state is dusty. Your colonized ass brain is dusty. You're dusty because you think black empowerment and poverty goes hand in hand. You see some victory in being poor and living on the bare minimum. You see no value in trying to be top-notch and exceptional. Hence, a dusty mind state.
Makes 15 an hour, somebody who makes 45.
Yeah.
Dusty says, where your money at, and calls you broke or any of this, ask him to quantify what amount of money is broke. You will checkmate him because he can't do that. Most of his fan base are working class people, so it's something he, of course, feels superior to everybody, but he kind of has to dance on that line because he would, by doing this, he would offend half of the people who listen to him. So he kind of looks down on them, but pets them on the head just enough that they'll stay loyal.
The only people that he offends by showing a lifestyle of opulence is the Dusties. You people. Real men aren't affected by other men's pockets. Remember that, little buddy.
And be hopefully not offended. So anytime he says that you sound dusty, where your money at, you're broke, or anything like that, ask him to quantify. How much is broke? How much in the savings? How much income? Ask for a dollar amount, and you'll checkmate him. Number 7, mind your business, you're being nosy. But here's the thing about that, the mind your business, you're being nosy. Mind your business, you're being nosy is for the private domain. If they ask, how many times a week do you and your wife make love? That is being nosy. If they ask, what's your bank account number? What's your social security number? That's being nosy. If they
ask, how much money is in your bank account, or how much money you make for business endeavors, they being fucking nosy.
Ask, how many times a year do you jerk off? That's being nosy. But what you are trying to do with your FBA trademark and hustle is encapture the black race, the black American people. You're trying to grab them all in your arms and
according to you, the all-knowing Blackmans Advocate,
control them. That is public. If you're opening a museum for yourself, that is private. When you're opening a museum in the name of my ancestors, I can question you on that. When you're talking about
when you say your ancestors, do you mean foundational black Americans? Gotcha.
Doing this for slaves who died, and you're doing this for the people who were on the plantations and the black Americans. You're talking about my grandmothers. You're talking about my grandfathers and my great-great-great-grandmothers and grandfathers. You're not the only motherfucker who's a black American. So if you're
whoever said he was, damn.
Doing something in the name of my ancestors, you fucking right, I'm gonna ask some questions. And any of you who are black American, you have a right. Don't let him shame you away from that. Now, if he decides to drop our ancestors' names and do something on his own strength, not to pimp them out, but to say, hey man, I'm trying to get some property. I want to be the first black Jeff Bezos. I need y'all to give me some money for me. Then you're good. We can't say nothing. But the minute you invoke our ancestors,
but the thing is, you will say something. You'll complain about that. Picture that. Somebody just comes straight out asking you for money to enrich themselves. You will have something to say about that. You cannot satisfy you niggas, no matter what. You're not going to be satisfied. That's why people with shit going on don't have time to sit around and debate bullshit back and forth with you, when you could be doing the same thing if you had original thought and original content. Advocate.
People, our history, nigga, you in the public domain and you're going to get pressed, you're going to get asked questions as long as you're talking about my ancestors. Right. The next thing is that you're jealous of FBA. A lot of niggas do that. This has been really a popular thing, I think, since I was in middle school. Anytime you criticize a motherfucker, you're hating. There really is no such thing as disagreeing with somebody anymore. There's no such thing.
The first factual statement that I've heard on this video. You're right. A hater is just another word for somebody that disagrees with you. In most cases. But when you start running your mouth criticizing and talking about somebody that you don't know and making all these assumptions about their motivations and what's inside their mind when it's not coming directly out of their mouth, somebody probably call you a hater, advocate.
As just having a genuine issue, is that you're hating. So what they'll say, oh, you sound jealous of FBA. You sound jealous of me. When they do this, you just keep it pushing. Again, all of these are deflections. You're supposed to be so read, such a historical expert, so politically astute. And these are the things that they're coming up with. You're jealous. You're babbling. You sound not FBA. Where your money at? This is a disingenuous argument. As you can see, zooming out of this, it is not very hard.
See, the advocate loves to mix lies with the truth. He will state a fact, another fact, and then a couple of reaches, and conflate all of the statements together as truth. Check him out. He gonna do it over and over again. Advocate.
Or at all to dismantle these people. That's why anytime that somebody of substance comes and questions him, you get blocked. You get deflected on. When you have a foundation built on sand, there is no defense. The best you can do is keep the elements away from it. But when you are in concrete, when you are solid, you can stand it. And they cannot stand it because they are on false ground. This is his personal honeypot, and he is trying to justify it and make a little goddamn coat for himself. The next false argument that he states, and this is specifically coming to these financial ventures.
But your advocate, you are attempting to establish yourself as the leader of the We Hate Black Men with Hustle and Game club.
That he's doing in the name of the people. These personal financial ventures that he's doing in the name of the public people.
Pocket watching, boy.
Is that he has a track record of getting stuff done. But what track record do you have of getting stuff done? A track record of sales for yourself? A track record?
Yes, that's normal.
Of making DVDs for the cheap and selling them for high and pocketing money? A track.
So I guess you got a problem with Hollywood too. That's the name of the fucking game, man. We live in a system of fucking capitalism that's driven by fucking money. Everybody that does any kind of work should get fucking paid. That's what I mean. That's that dusty ass mindset that puts that bullshit in your head, man. That's what a dusty is. You, right now. I ain't mad though, because you're funny.
Record of stunting and showing that, you got a Bentley and that you got more money than the rest of your people. A track record of getting what done? People were just complaining that you didn't open a bank, you didn't open a trade school, but
Why don't you open a bank and a trade school? How about that? See, look, I basically been having fun with this video and just joking around. But man, this shit has to stop. This shit has to stop. This old Kev Gills, Hassan Campbell, Tommy Sotomayor style bullshit that y'all got going on, man. It's fucking disgusting. And it's fucking sick.
Fucking museum, which is useless.
A fucking museum, which is useless. Okay. I'm pretty sure you already read this in the chat, right? But Tariq Nasheed's Hidden Colors series is one of the most impactful black documentaries ever. All you gotta do, right? I'm gonna give you some game, advocate. All you gotta do is go back on the timeline, right? Look at when Hidden Colors 1 came out. And then you go to social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, any one of those. Go to one of the platforms and you will see that the language changed, man. People started to talk different, man. People started to push back on false history, man. And the next thing that you're gonna say is, how is that tangible? It's tangible when a lost sheep is brought home to the black family. It's tangible when it does a lot to dismantle the lies that cause low self-esteem in black people and make them feel like they can't be great. And then it's motherfuckers like you, right? Anytime it's a black man coming up, getting money, you always feel like it's got to be some type of scam or some kind of trick to how he got the money. Man, sometimes people just got that it factor. And people pay attention to them when they talk, and they take advantage of that. You can't buy that. You can't learn that. Some people have it, and some people don't. And that's your problem, bro. You don't have it, but you can get it. You can get it if you find your specialty, and concentrate on that, and forget about what the fuck Tariq is doing. Hey man, either you donate to him or help him out, or fucking ignore him. What's your problem?
A track record of getting what done? A track record of what tangibles? Not a fucking DVD, not a Mac pack, not boots, not Ogun pepper spray. A track record of getting what done? Anytime he says he has a track record of getting stuff done, press him on that and say what? Because I don't know how DVDs have changed my family's life. I know a few black families around the neighborhood. I live in a black neighborhood. I don't know how Ogun juice has changed their life. I don't know how a museum is going to change their life. I don't know how hidden colors change their life.
So, Advocate, you don't think that the right information at the right time can change somebody's life? You just going, man. You just going. Please tell me that you didn't think this through. That you freestyling right now and you just going off the head. Please tell me that you didn't think this through.
Life, I don't know how him buying a Bentley with the buck breaking money has changed their life. So you have a track record of getting what done?
The Advocate knows what he did with the buck breaking money. Why the money is still coming in? Man, this is the pocket watching this motherfucker on the face of earth. Fuck.
He sits there with this arrogance to say this, question them. Sometimes when people try to pull a front with you like that, fall right into it. Fall into it. Ask them what? Clarify. And then again, he'll say you're babbling. Where's your money at? You sound FBA. That's a disingenuous argument, and block you or hang up the motherfucking phone. The next.
All they do is mix lies with the truth. What the fuck is with the mind of the youth?
Disingenuous argument that he does is call you a coon. That's when he buck his eyes out and say, these white people's alone. Usually, when he comes up with
that shit be funny as hell though.
This deflection. This is somebody saying that we don't need to focus on white supremacy. Now, I've never heard anyone call into his show and say white supremacy doesn't exist. I've never heard anyone call into his show and say that we need to act like white supremacy doesn't exist, or that slavery never happened, or that there's inequality, or that there's racial police violence in America, or anything like this. But what they say is that we should focus on empowerment and not victimization. However, victimization is his bread and butter. Victimization is what brought him that Bentley. Victimization is why buck breaking sold out.
Bro, your argument is so simple, man. It is so simple, bro. It is so simple. You say that he deflects when somebody says we should focus on empowerment and not white supremacy. So, what is the number one hurdle for empowerment? Why aren't we already empowered? What was the forces that led to us not having power and not being empowered? We, our forefathers, and us today are constant victims of white supremacy. Okay. For a black man to acknowledge that the number one hurdle that's blocking his empowerment is white supremacy, it's not a victim mentality. It's a realist mentality, because that is the reality of the situation. You know, the type of guys that say stuff like that, most of the time, these guys they like your educated corporate guys that you know what I mean, they get to these choking positions and immediately start wagging their finger. That's their number one argument. Don't focus on white supremacy. Look at me. Look what I did. Look what I did in spite of white supremacy. See, that's the same type of people that will hold up examples like, look at Oprah, like look at Jordan. And you know what that is? You know where that talking point comes from? That talking point, that's an alt-right talking point, man. That is a talking point of white supremacy. Nelly Fuller Jr. told us, and Tariq Nasheed got it from him and told you how the white supremacist always takes both sides of the argument. And this is a perfect example of that, Advocate.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No,
so he
no,
focuses on victimization, and anyone who says, listen, let's empower ourselves, that is against his capitalistic interest. He has to keep you in victimization and give you these masochistic DVDs in order to keep you within that.
Now it seems that you have abandoned the truth totally. Like, you stopped mixing lies with the truth. Now you just lying, man. Where the fuck you get this shit from, man? That's your idea of original thought? Original lie?
Do you follow?
No.
So, anytime he calls with these white people the loans, and you sound like a coon because you're saying that we need to empower ourselves and stop focusing on white people.
You're a disgruntled fan.
Just pretty much call him out right there and say that I understand that victimization is your bread and butter, sir. I understand that, your whole thing is selling DVDs about black folks, getting whipped and butt fucked and all this. But actually, we're about empowerment. He always wants to say we're about empowerment. We're about empowerment. We're about empowerment. How is butt breaking about empowerment?
Who said it? Get your shit together. Get your shit together. Who said? First, you was talking about somebody telling him we want to be empowered. Then, in the very next sentence, he wanted to say it's about empowerment. Advocate, come on, man.
About empowerment. So anytime that they go with the leave white people alone, understand what you're dealing with that. What you're dealing with that. You're coming at his bread and butter. He does not make money off empowerment. He makes money off the perpetualization of black victimhood. The next one, the next false argument is really a cop-out, and he says that I'm not a leader. So he wants all the perks of being a leader. He wants the collection plate of being a leader, but he does not want the accountability of being a leader. He doesn't want people to really call him to task and say, hey, brother, what the fuck is going on? That's too much. He just wants the perks of being a leader. But if he is not a leader...
Hey, brother, what the fuck is going on? Man, you just keep making up shit. And like, man, leader is another word for target. Advocate. That's another word for target. When you talking black empowerment, that's a word for target. Hey, the leaderless revolution is the way to go, because you can't imprison the leader or kill the leader when every man is his own leader and he lives his life according to the black first philosophy, and he stays on code with his actions. That makes every man a leader. Pretty smart if you ask me, but
leader, then he needs to stop collecting money, because that is stepping in the leadership position. And
money. He getting money. He get money. Money. Anybody else see a pattern here? Pocket watching, mother.
You're trying to get money as the leader, talking about, hey, I get stuff done, pretty much saying I'm the leader, give me money, without coming out and saying that. But once it's time to be accountable, oh, wait a minute, let me back up. So he wants to take the good of being a leader and leave the bad. That's called half-stepping, and it's non-committal. Number 11 of the false argument.
Nobody can ever satisfy you niggas. See, that's what runs people away from black empowerment, man. I mean, most of the so-called black leaders that are outside of the mainstream, normally they die broke. Like it ain't no reward for it. So that hurts the future of the movement, because who wants to put up with this bullshit? When you step out front and you're trying to do your part to lead, give the people some knowledge, or give them some hope, or anything. You step out front and you're trying to lead, and you got to deal with the Blackmans Advocate and all of his false arguments. And that's very ironic because of the name of this video. You definitely came with 15 false arguments. Advocate.
As he used is to use the qualifier suspected. Okay. Now, I'm no friend of white supremacists, but he does this with them, but even Coon or non-FBA. So you're a suspected.
All right. This video is getting too goddamn long. So I'm about to sum it up real fast, and then I'm done with it forever. Advocate, lawyer, spokesman, advocate, lawyer. You would expect somebody that goes by the moniker Blackmans Advocate would understand legalese. Alleged, suspected, those words are legalese. And when you speak publicly, like somebody who's a member of the media, somebody like Tariq Nasheed, or even somebody like Bless the Damn Best, or the Blackmans Advocate, you have to develop a skill to talk and not get the shit sued out your ass for slander. That's the reason for those words, man. You got to understand. Tariq Nasheed is very media savvy, man. That's what you seeing. And you misinterpreting it. Everything. Purposefully. You doing this shit on purpose. Advocate.
Number 11 of the false arguments he used is to use the qualifier suspected. Okay? Now, I'm no friend of white supremacists, but he does this with them, but even coon or non-FBA. So you're a suspected white supremacist. You're a suspected coon. You're a suspected non-FBA. That's a very non-committal, bitch-ass way, and all due respect, but very non-committal and bitch-ass way to call somebody something without committing. To step on it with one foot, to throw your rock and hide your hand. If you say something, stand on it. Ain't no goddamn suspected nothing. They are or they aren't. Number 12. What have you done? Anytime you challenge something that he's done, something he's doing, something about his ideology, again, like the earlier one, him.
Advocate. See, this point is where you really step in it. Because at that point, when he asks you, what have you done? According to you, when you say something based in fact, it should be a simple answer. Your factual answer should shut his mouth. When he asks, what have you done? All you have to do is tell him what you've done. But you have to go to the nuclear option. When your facts ain't there and your argument is not there, the only thing you left doing is banging on the tables. And that's what you're doing right now. This is equivalent to just banging on the table. Because when he asks, what have you done? And you have done nothing, you're checkmated. Only thing you can do is try to hang up the phone before he can hang up in your damn face. But we'll chop it up further. Let's go.
Knowing that he is of such an upper echelon of a financial class, we'll just blanketly say, what have you done? And that's supposed to say that, well, I have more money than you. I did this, and that, so your opinion does not matter. But to those whose opinion doesn't matter, does their money matter? Of course it does.
Advocate, you bad with this shit, man. You really bad with making up hypotheticals to build your narrative, man. You're real bad at that. Okay, I haven't heard every word that Tariq Nasheed has spoken on the internet, but I've heard a lot. I have never once heard him tell somebody their opinion doesn't matter because they don't have money. Now, I could make up a hypothetical scenario that would kind of explain what I think you mean, but like, listen, you can't talk to a person with money about what you would do with the money if you had it, right? What it is, if you don't have money, or you have never had money and been in the position where what you do with your money can change things, you don't want to hear it, because all you doing is fantasizing and making up hypotheticals about what you would do. Either you donate, support in whatever kind of way you want to support, or don't. Goddamn, man, you sound like Rico. God damn it, you sound like Rico from Belly with a fucking banana in your mouth, man.
So that's one point. Another is, I also have not embarrassed another black leader. We also have not cursed other black folks out before the world on the internet. We also have not stunned on people. We also have not shitted on people. We also have not...
Because you can't stun on people.
Degraded people in their business and their mothers live on TV. We also did not have...
I think Tariq Nasheed's been on live TV a few times. I've never heard him degrade anybody's mother on live TV. I know you meant live streams, broadcasts on the internet. I'm just fucking with you right now.
White lawyers serve another black man with legal papers like you did Tommy Sotomayor. I'm not a fan of him, or whether I am or ain't. It's irrelevant. But you talking all this black empowerment, and you went and called white authorities on another black man sitting there laughing.
Now, I'm back and forth on this one right here. Sometimes it's necessary to call the police on black or white folks. Depends on the situation. So I ain't gonna really stress out. But you also said that this man had a white lawyer. Like it's something wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. And again, since it's cool to make up hypothetical situations and do what ifisms, I got one for you. What if he tried to hire a black lawyer and got in court and discovered that this black lawyer didn't understand legalese like the Black Advocate? I'm just fucking with you.
So, anytime he asks, what have you done? There's a bunch of bullshit we haven't done, and we're not calling you to question what you're doing that's right. We're not calling you questioning what you're saying that's correct. We're calling to question you on the bullshit. So what have you done is irrelevant. Number 13, this is his argument for getting...
Yeah, it's irrelevant when you don't have an answer, man. That's why it's irrelevant, man. This shit is getting really, 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 really hard to take. Matter of fact, let me put on my dust mask, because I think this new Dusty 19 variant is present right now. So forgive me, but I gotta protect myself.
Money, basically. Before you let white people rob you, let me rob you first. So, in other words, to say, y'all spend your money like fools and give your money away here, which is pocket watching. Well,
Man, Tariq never said that. And it's ironic that you would mention pocket watching. But you're an expert at pocket watching. Maybe you need to start the Pocket Watcher channel, right? You'll be an expert. You got plenty of experience in pocket watching. You know all the ins and out of pocket watching. You watch pockets, you watch wallets, you watch bank accounts, you watch super chats, you watch museum donations, man. You could be the world authority in pocket watching. Maybe you should try that, Advocate.
You giving your money to white people and they're taking it with bills and all this. So give it to me first. Give it to me first. And to be honest with you, that is lackluster and that is sad for a leader. Before
this talking point is sad for a Blackmans Advocate.
Or white people rob you, let me rob you first. We've got to do better than that. That is not qualified leadership. Number 14 is that his people ride with him. So if you question him, he'll kind of just back up and say, well, I got my people ride with me. Your people are sheep. Sheep don't really matter. I mean, these are people who are working class people who ain't got that much money for themselves, and right now it's about to meet homeless black people on the street. The U.S. is running out of water. Water prices going to skyrocket. Gas going to skyrocket.
And it's President Tariq Nasheed's fault. All this shit that you're saying, right, Advocate?
Black folks is in bad shape, and they're sitting up giving you their hard-earned money. A rich man giving to a rich man out of their children's mouths, and just sitting there smiling.
Hey man, when you wanna gauge support, money is a good metric to gauge that, especially donated money. That's proof that his supporters ride for him. That's even more impressive to get people who don't have money, according to you, to give it to him. They must feel that the cause is greater than them in order for them to do that. That's the only reason somebody would do that. You say that that's a sheep, and you say sheep don't matter, but sheep make up the majority, man. So I don't get your deal, man. It's everything is just getting dustier and dustier, man. It's like a dust cloud in my car right now from you.
With a blank face, just retarded. That ain't no people I have following you. You can have a million sheep following you. It means nothing. It means nothing. It's better to have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. You got 100,000 cotton balls. Number 15.
Hey man. That's the dumbest shit you said in this whole fucking broadcast, bro. What the fuck does that mean?
He says that his main focus is on white supremacy. He says that if you call in with something, he'll say, well, you're talking about this. You're talking about that. It's a distraction. I'm worried about white supremacy. However, I would have to call that out with your capitalistic love of money, because there is no higher token of white supremacy than the US dollar. And that is what you live for.
Damn, man. I gotta retract my own statement. Fuck, I hate doing that. Bro, this is the dumbest thing that you said in this whole goddamn broadcast. You got to play the game that you fucking in. And in the United States of America, in 2021, the name of the game is money. I don't give a fuck what it represents. You can't move shit without it, bro. That's the bottom line, and that's the reality of the situation. The only kind of people that says that money don't matter are those who broke as fuck, or they got so much money tell it don't matter, right? All of the people in the middle that you call sheep